What happens when the best team meets the defending champs? Just a bit ago, the NBA witnessed a glimpse of what an NBA Finals may look like when the Boston Celtics matched up with the Denver Nuggets. While it is only one game, it did reveal some important insights that I think may determine the champion if they end up meeting again. To begin the game, the Celtics had matched up Porzingis on Jokic and didn't want to switch any screens with him. So Denver came out of the gates using a cross screen. Because the Celtics don't want to switch, a cross screen forces the defender to cover a larger range of the court, which then can help get someone open. On this one, KCP sets that cross screen to eliminate Porzingis, and Jokic smartly stays at the 3-point line so Holiday has to pick him up. That switch gets Jaylen Brown's attention, and Jokic delivers a beautiful pass behind him for a dunk. When the cross screen didn't work, the Nuggets then flowed into the dribble handoff. Since the dribble handoff happened so fast, it's easier to catch the defender off guard. Once the screen is set, Porzingis again doesn't want to leave Jokic, which then opens up a lane to the rim. Boston changed up their coverage on Jokic post-ups. At the end of the first period, with more reserves in the game, Jokic posted up more often, and the Celtics often doubled because they dared the role players to make plays. Boston had done a decent job on Jokic initially, but the post-up became much more problematic as the game wore on. On the offensive side, the Celtics established some offensive momentum by attacking with pace. They drove to the rim early so that no help could come, specifically Jaylen Brown, who didn't care who he was attacking because he was determined to score. But the one guy who seemed passive was Jason Tatum. He had made a 3 early in the game, but that was about it. So midway through the first, Mazzulla calls a play called X high to get Tatum going. The Celtics take a page out of the Nuggets playbook as Horford sets a cross screen for Porzingis, which then eventually flows into a pick and roll. Because Jokic drops, Tatum settles for the mid-range jumper. A few possessions later, Porzingis sets the screen. While the Nuggets switch, they leave an inch of space for Tatum to rise for a 3. But Tatum was inconsistent early and often. The Nuggets often pressured him out high, and he made some bad decisions. More importantly, he couldn't take advantage of any mismatches because they made sure he had to beat them by driving through traffic. You could hear it on the broadcast as well. After Jamal Murray switches on to him, Michael Malone yells. As Murray pressures him, Tatum passes up on the matchup and gives it to Horford in the post, which the Nuggets will happily live with. Murray did a great job on Tatum in the post as well, disrupting his dribble when he had nowhere to go. When Tatum didn't know what to do, he tried going through him and got called for an offensive foul. So with Tatum struggling, Jaylen Brown picked up the slack, especially in the second quarter. The Nuggets wanted to force him left, but JB was looking to get to his left hand all night and had no problem finding his shot. While he has had trouble with his left hand, it's mostly when he's crossing over from right to left. But if he's able to go on a straight line drive with his left hand, he's more than capable of protecting his dribble and getting to his spots. Brown was also very aggressive on the boards as he had 5 offensive rebounds as well. In that second quarter, Brown scored 15 points, which gave the Celtics a much needed boost. But the Nuggets gave Jokic an even bigger boost when he was on the bench. The Nuggets bench has notably been their weak spot because they don't have good playmakers. So instead of playing in the half court, the reserves had gotten out in transition, which helped to get to the free throw line. With Jamal Murray on the floor, he was able to find his shot in isolation multiple times to score as well. The Celtics elected to let Murray work against single coverage, and he was able to take advantage. Once Jokic came back in, he showed why he's the best player in basketball. Here the Nuggets run that cross screen to get Holiday on Jokic. He then moves to look like he's setting a screen before cutting down the middle for a layup. A few possessions later, Jokic runs a dribble handoff with Jamal Murray. Even though Brown strips him, he's able to pick the ball up and then hit the floater. Then to end the period, he hits the bank shot over Porzingis' outstretched arm to give the Nuggets an 8-point lead going into halftime. In the first half, the Nuggets found a lot of success attacking Porzingis, so in the second half, the Celtics wanted to hunt Nikola Jokic, but the results might surprise you. The Celtics continuously attacked Nikola Jokic with a pick and pop. Since the Celtics knew Jokic didn't want to switch, this left Porzingis open at the 3-point line. Porzingis had made his first 2 threes to start the second half, but Denver started to adjust. To help defenders prime themselves to rotate to Porzingis so that he couldn't corral the ball. Denver deflected these passes and created a few fast breaks to maintain their lead. Regardless, the Celtics continued running the pick and pop with very mixed results. While Porzingis did hit 3 threes in that period, the Celtics offense didn't score as efficiently as you might think, which reveals an important truth. Boston's offense is mainly predicated on attacking mismatches, but Denver's personnel neutralizes that as much as possible. It's much harder to attack Jokic more than ever because the Nuggets can rotate to the open man so quickly. They also have the size and speed to contest Porzingis' high-release jumpers. What makes Denver scarier is that they don't need to shoot threes to create efficient offense. Not only do they have Jokic, but they're creative with him to make Porzingis' life much harder. By putting Jokic on the move, he can catch the ball with momentum and use his big frame to score. But the most important factor that might determine this matchup is the fact that Jokic had no problem moving KP when he just posted him up. Boston has always believed in playing single coverage, so Jokic and the Nuggets continued to attack Porzingis due to his slim build and were able to continue getting easy shots. In response, the Celtics replaced Porzingis with Xavier Tillman because he's a bigger body, so the Nuggets countered by running pick and pops to get Tillman on the move. The Celtics didn't want that, so they brought the low man down to cover the drive, but Payton and Watson had knocked out a few huge shots to preserve Denver's lead. So to end the third, the Celtics tried pre-switching so Tillman could roam down low. With Derek White on Jokic, Brown tries to strip him on the pass, but Jokic keeps the ball away from him and gets it to KCP for 3. Going into the fourth, both teams were trying to figure out if their current strategies were viable enough to protect their centers. The Celtics made a few tweaks to try and make Jokic's life harder, but the bigger story was on Denver's end. While it did feel like they had solidified their defensive game plan, Michael Malone made a major tactical adjustment that almost backfired. Before we get to that, Jason Tatum continued to struggle early in the fourth. Because Denver has big wings, they have the size to contest Tatum's pull-up threes. This prompted Tatum to try attacking the basket more often, but the Nuggets helped defenders continue to create havoc at the rim. Because he had trouble creating separation, Joe Mazzulla brought Jaylen Brown back in the game, which changed Boston's offense. He continued to neutralize Denver's game plan by driving with his left hand to draw fouls. On the next possession, Tatum runs a pick and roll, and Brown knocks down a spot-up 3. Then after Payton Watson misses the 3, Brown throws a nice down-court pass to Holiday for a layup. But after all of that, the Nuggets were still up 10 with 6 minutes left to go. That's when Boston got more desperate. On defense, the Celtics had matched up Drew Holiday with Jokic to allow Porzingis to roam the paint. They were able to get a few stops because Porzingis' length was able to bother anyone who was in the paint. But the Nuggets gave the Celtics a reality check when Jokic decided to just post up Drew. Because Jokic could score anywhere in the paint, Porzingis can't bother the shot in time. So it appeared that Denver had the game under control. The Nuggets have been the best team in the clutch all year, but that's when Michael Malone made an interesting adjustment. Instead of matching Jokic with Porzingis on defense, he decided to put him on Drew Holiday even though he's a 45% three-point shooter. Even though he got away with it the first time, the adjustment backfired once Holiday started isoing Jokic instead. After Murray misses a good look at a 3, Holiday starts to push it. He then creates separation by stepping back on Jokic and knocks down the 3 to cut the lead in half. This time, Porzingis plays him straight up, and Jokic spins back to his right hand to finish. With the lead at 5, Tatum runs pick and roll before passing it to Holiday. He isos Jokic again and steps back for 3 to cut the lead to 2. Next possession, Jaylen Brown dogs Jamal Murray and creates a steal. With a 3-on-2 fast break, the Nuggets elect to give up a Tatum wide open 3, which turns out to be the right decision, and that gives Jokic a chance to close the game for good. With the game in the balance, Jokic posts Porzingis up again. As he spins, Holiday and Brown both come over to affect his shot, but he instead throws it up to Aaron Gordon for the dunk to effectively seal the game for Denver. So in an NBA Finals preview, Denver really had control of the game until Michael Malone matched up Jokic with Drew Holiday, which means that there's more questions for the Celtics to address if they want to win a championship. First, are Porzingis pick and pops the best way to attack Denver's defense? It was very inconsistent, and Denver's personnel made it hard to keep running it successfully. The second question is, how are they going to guard Jokic post-ups? Porzingis never had a chance because Jokic is so much bigger, and doubling him didn't work either. Right now, Denver has the upper hand, and it's up to Boston to answer these questions that will determine if they can win an NBA championship. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, you could check out some of our content here, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.